It was almost 2 in the morning when the phone rang. Brandon Swanson had driven into a ditch and was calling his parents for help. They got in the car, staying on the phone with him the whole time. He was calm, giving directions, telling them he could see their headlights. And then, after 47 minutes, Brandon suddenly yelled, "Oh, shoot!" and the call cut out. He was never seen again. Brandon Swanson was 19 years old, a college student, studying wind energy at a technical school in Canby, Minnesota. He was bright, responsible, and close with his family. On the night of May 13, 2008, Brandon attended a small celebration with friends. It was the last day of classes, and by all accounts, it was a low-key night. No heavy drinking, nothing wild. Around midnight, he left the party to drive home to Marshall, Minnesota, a town about 30 minutes away. But sometime after 1 a.m., Brandon's car veered off a gravel road and slid into a shallow ditch. He wasn't hurt, the car wasn't damaged, but it couldn't move. So Brandon called the only people he trusted, his mom and dad. He said, "I'm not far from Lind, a nearby town." He could see lights in the distance. He just needed a ride. Brian and Annette Swanson immediately got in the car and started driving, staying on the phone with Brandon. At first, it was routine. He told them where he thought he was. They flashed their headlights. He said he could see them in the distance, but there was a problem. They weren't anywhere near each other. Brandon believed he was south of Lind, near a familiar area, but in reality, he was 25 miles away, near a town called Taunton. None of them knew it at the time. As they continued talking, Brandon grew frustrated. His parents couldn't find him. He told them he'd just walk to the nearest town and meet them there. They stayed on the phone the whole time. He described passing fences, gravel roads, water. The call lasted 47 minutes. Then suddenly, Brandon stopped mid-sentence and shouted, "Oh, shoot!" If you're hooked so far, hit subscribe, because the next story might be even darker than this one. Now, back to the case. And the line went dead. His parents tried calling back, dozens of times. No answer. They drove around for hours, scanning ditches and roadsides. At 6:30 a.m., they reported him missing, but police were dismissive. Brandon was 19, legally an adult. Maybe he wandered off. Maybe he was hiding. It wasn't until later that day that a real search began. His car was eventually located, not near Lind at all, but by a field outside Taunton. No signs of struggle, no damage, no blood. Just an abandoned car. Search dogs were brought in. They traced Brandon's scent from his car to a gravel road, then into a fields. They followed his path through waist-high grass and fences, all the way to the edge of the Yellow Medicine River. There, the dogs appeared confused, then doubled back and lost the trail. Investigators believe Brandon may have fallen into the river and drowned, but multiple searches, including sonar, divers, and drones, found no body, no clothing, nothing. And the thing is, the river was shallow, and that stretch wasn't deep enough to carry someone away unseen. So what made Brandon scream? Theory 1. He drowned. Maybe Brandon slipped, hit his head, and was swept away. But again, no remains were ever found. No drag marks, no torn clothes. And the dogs picked up his scent on the other side of the river, suggesting he made it across. Theory 2. He was abducted. Was someone following him? Did he unknowingly cross private land, triggering a confrontation? The scream, the sudden end of the call, it all hints at something violent and fast. But there were no tire marks, no footprints, no witnesses. Theory 3. Disoriented accident. Some believe he wandered for hours and eventually collapsed from exhaustion or hypothermia, but that area was searched for weeks with no sign of him ever again. Every year, Brandon's parents return to the spot where his car was found. They've left a cross, they've held vigils, they've begged for answers. In 2009, Minnesota passed Brandon's Law, which requires police to take missing adult cases seriously, especially when the person is in danger. Still, no credible leads have ever surfaced. It's been over 15 years, and Brandon Swanson is still missing. One moment, he was calmly walking toward the lights. The next, he was gone. What made Brandon scream that night? And who, or what, was waiting for him in the dark?
Thanks for watching Short Crime Stories. New crimes drop weekly. Subscribe to never miss a case.